Vale.
Thank you, Acting Speaker, and I rise to support the 26-27 Victorian State Labor Budget, of course, and it's a budget that is all about making life easier, safer and more affordable for every single Victorian. And further to my contribution of the 13th of May, I'd like to highlight again the various other supports and initiatives that are contained in this budget around cost of living, around jobs and job creation, skills, education, transport, health and wellbeing, our sport community and visitor economy, action on the environment, social justice and, of course, importantly, community safety. These are the things that matter to every single Victorian. These are the things that are contained, that we invest in through this budget, and these are the things that the Liberal Party stand against. And these are the things that the Liberal Party will cut with their $40 billion of cuts contained in their shadow budgets and their sacking of 1 in every 7 public servant, which will have a direct impact on public servants and emergency services and frontline services. I'd like to take the House to the Department of Transport and Planning section of the budget papers, which also contain $100 million towards improving bus services in my community, beginning with the 526 bus route through Coburg and Newlands, which will be really lifting and boosting in service to 7 days, including on Sundays for the first time, with an average service frequency of every 20 minutes. The 561 bus route from Pascoe Vale Station to La Trobe University will get an increase in weekday peaks and weekend frequencies as well. The 542 bus from Pascoe Vale Station to Roxburgh Park will have a full service uplift from Monday to Saturday, and Sunday services extended to 10 p.m. And I know that's welcome news as well for the member for Greenvale as well, for his constituents living up further north on that bus route. The 503 route through Essendon to East Brunswick via Albion Street in Brunswick West will get a boost, an extra 25 weekly services delivering consistent 20-minute weekday frequencies outside of peak times, with improved connections, importantly, to the Craigieburn train line. And Route 508 from Alphington to Moonee Ponds via Victoria Street in Brunswick West as well will get a significant boost and uplift. The budget also contains $1 billion to repair roads and potholes right across the state. And in my community, we have had quite a number of investments to date already to improve our local road and transport network, but some in particular that I'd like to draw the Minister's attention to that deserve further attention and further assistance and further improvements include Bell Street, Elm Grove and the Urquhart Street corridor around the Coburg Primary School community. We've recently installed some further speed humps on Elm Grove, which will really help reduce and calm traffic through there. Thank you to the Department of Transport for installing those, but there's more work that needs to be done around that entire precinct. Moreland Road, the Department of Transport have said they support a 40-kilometre speed reduction from 60 kilometres and support a new pedestrian crossing being installed at the Queen Street intersection. Melville Road, Department of Transport also support they're conducting a holistic review of Melville Road, and they do support an in-principle speed reduction, including the first time ever installing new 40-kilometre school zone for the St Joseph's Primary and the Brunswick West Primary School communities as well. DTP also supports speed reductions through Coburg North from O'Hare Street up to Boundary Road, and that'll help improve safety as well for the Mercy College students in particular and AIA College students as well. Gaffney Street DTP have agreed to a review more recently as well with a view to reducing the limit from 60 kilometres down to 50 kilometres, and that's particularly important for the students of St Oliver Plunkett Primary School and also Coburg North Primary School. We particularly need some further road treatments. We've installed a new pedestrian crossing last year that was delivered for the Pascoe Vale Primary School community just west of Cumberland Road, but we need to do more really further east from Cumberland Road, really all the way to where the Bunnings is and almost covering the Sydney Road intersection as well. The Coburg North families are advocating for a new pedestrian crossing at the front of Harmony Park, sort of in the vicinity of the Sackers supermarket, which is importantly needed. And St Oliver's community are asking for further safety treatments in that section of Gaffney Street around the Landals Road section, right at the front of the church, where many of their students and families cross every single day as well. Of course, there's more to do on Murray Road. We have already installed and funded the 40 kilometres school zone for the first time on Murray Road through Coburg, by the way, from Stockade Avenue all the way to Connolly Avenue over the Merry Creek Bridge, but we need to keep advocating to extend that as well further to Elizabeth Street to support the Barry Beckett childcare and Newlands primary school families as well. There's more to do as well on Boundary Road, Cumberland Road, Sussex Street, and many of our other major arterials and major connector roads and streets as well. Importantly, the budget contains $16.8 million for school crossing supervisor program. The state government meets a 50% cost of supervisors and in partnership with councils. And on that front, I am pleased to say, of course, we did support the installation of a school zone 40 kilometres on Coonans Road for the Pascoe Vale South Primary School families, which the council, to their credit, have installed. But the school community is calling for council to help facilitate a road crossing supervisor at the Parkstone intersection there as well, which I strongly support as well. But the alternative to this when it comes to transport is quite stark, because the Liberals would not have built the Metro Rail Tunnel. They wouldn't have built the Westgate Tunnel. They certainly wouldn't have built the North East Link either. They would not. If they got in, they'd be cutting the extra train services that we have been funded for the Upfield line and the Craigieburn line as well. And also, you'd be cutting the bus services. You can't fund these services by cutting $40 billion out of the budget. And I'm waiting for the media release for you guys to confirm that you welcome. These extra services, and I'll wait to hear that imminently. In terms of health, $32 billion into our health system, Acting Speaker. Our hospital workforce has grown by 50%. We've hired an extra 17,000 nurses, 7,000 extra doctors since 2014, and the Northern Hospital is continuing to receive $114 million in this budget as part of its overall $812 million upgrade that continues. The Austin Hospital receives a further $83 million towards its $275 million upgrade as well. We're growing the reach of the virtual emergency department as well. The Community Chemist Care Program and Urgent Care Program, and I commend the former Minister for Health for her efforts in rolling that out, and in visiting my electorate on several occasions to help support and champion that initiative. And importantly, it's about providing especially women and young families as well with the services without the need for a GP script on many, many conditions, things like the pill, contraceptions, shingles, UTIs, travel vaccinations, and so much more. The clinic, we're expanding the urgent care clinic in Moonee Ponds, but we've also recently opened, thanks to the federal Albanese government, a new Coburg Urgent Medicare clinic in Sydney Road, which is already operating well and truly, very well received by the community. We've opened 15 women's health clinics across the state, $109 million for 4,000 more kids' surgeries and 45,000 more specialist appointments, $2.3 million to support secondary school immunisation program. Free tampons and pads continues to be rolled out as well. Changes to ADHD prescriptions. Public fertility continues to expand, and we continue to invest in. We're investing $2.5 billion for Victorians with a disability through home and aged care, disability outside of the NDIS, specialist disability accommodation, wheelchair taxi support, advocacy, and much more. But again, what would the alternative be when it comes to health in the Liberals' shadow budgets? Cuts, slashing and burning. The last time the Liberals built a hospital in this state, a new hospital, was when Premier Hamer was the Premier of this state. We're going back decades. We've delivered the Frankston Hospital, the Footscray Hospital, the Melton Hospital, Joan Kerner Hospital in Sunshine, and so much more. Tourism and sports, we continue to invest, and we are the major events and cultural capital of the country and the world. No matter what the Liberals say and how they try and talk us down, that is just totally untrue. We've got a lot to be proud of here. We continue, tourism major events, $15.5 million to support and attract more events. But we continue to be the envy of the country with the Australian Open, the Grand Prix, the Spring Racing Carnival, the AFL Grand Final long weekend. The Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre continues to attract major business investments, which are the highest. They are the highest yielding events. John Brumby and Steve Bracks were the ones that extended it. And they're the ones, and it's Labor that delivered the Geelong Convention Centre as well. I don't remember a state Liberal government delivering a Geelong Convention Centre either. We've attracted the NFL and NFL to the MCG for the first time in this country. We've got the live sites happening for the FIFA World Cup at Fed Square and right across the state, and go the Socceroos with the first game coming up in 2 weekends' time against Turkey. $29 million for the NGV transformation. and much funding as well. And the former Minister for Creative Industries is here as well, but investment to the Contemporary Music Initiative, the Victorian Music Development Office, Songwriting in Schools program and music work initiatives as well. We're supporting Victorian Screen Incentive through film, television, visual effects, animations and games employment initiatives. We're supporting our multicultural communities with a whole range of events and regional events fund as well. In terms of sport, we have funded the Brunswick Hockey Club $468,000 to deliver a new pitch at McDonald Reserve on Bell Street in Coburg, which I have previously highlighted and drawn the Chamber's attention to as well. The environment, significant investment and real action on the environment is in this budget. Beginning with $700,000 that we've allocated to Coburg Lake and the Marybeck Council to deliver new public amenities, restrooms and toilets to accommodate the growing community events and needs of my suburbs in that area. And funding will go towards the rebuild of the public restroom facilities on the Murray Road side of Coburg Lake, which will help, which are well and truly past their use-by date, and they'll help provide for new, comfortable and accessible facilities that are welcoming for everyone. The Premier visited on the 23rd of April when we met with the Alevi community, the Kurdish community, who their two combined annual events at Coburg Lake attract 10,000 people each year, and the funding is very much welcomed by those communities who've continued to advocate me for some time for those facilities, but they'll also be welcomed by the families who recreate and commute and go for a play date or a walk through the Coburg Lake on a daily basis, and those that live in Coburg, Pentridge, North Coburg, Newlands, Kodak and others as well. We're introducing the Victorian Midday Power Saving Saver. About 2.6 million households will be eligible for 3 hours free power in the middle of the day every day. Families could save $300 per year, $1,070 if they have solar batteries as well. And on that note, I commend as well that we recently opened the community battery in Brunswick and also previously in Coburg. We switched on the battery in Brunswick at 797 Sydney Road Car Park thanks to a federal Labor government grant of $500,000 in partnership also with Marybeck Council. 500 kilowatt battery which complements the 400 kilowatt battery in Hudson Street in Coburg. We've also previously opened, and local families can store renewable energy during the day to use at night when power is more expensive. Household rooftop solar, can also share in the benefits, lower bills, fewer emissions and less pressure on the grid. And with renewables, we are bringing back the SEC. There's $511 million for a wind farm in Dalburn, $91.9 million towards the Horsham Renewable Energy Park. That's all about meeting our targets as well, 65% renewables by 2030, 95% by 2035, and progressing solar homes program, which the Liberals have not committed to retaining if they were to get back in. The CDS continues to go gangbusters. 3 billion containers have been returned and recycled, $300 million in refunds in people's pockets. That equates to, across Marybeck as of November 25, that's 42.68 million containers deposited, and that's $4.26 million in 10-cent refunds. And I visited the container deposit site at 18 to 20 Derry Drive in North Coburg recently, where it's officially processed 8 million containers, which means 800,000 returned in the pockets of locals. It's an industrial-scale recycling depot operated by the incredible team at Kari, who are providing employment and social enterprise opportunities for First Nations communities through the recycling sustainability sector. And it was great to join those teams. Tony Catania from Tomra Cleanaway, Steve Rainey from Tomra Business Development Manager, Casey Ralph, the Kari CEO, and the wonderful depot workers Max, Kane, Casey and Jake and Julia, who proudly help recycle and deposit our containers as well. There's $21.5 million to bolster illegal dumping task force work and to take strong action on illegal dumping and litter throughout our community. And I was pleased on that note to join the Clean Up Australia Day team with the Friends of Moonee Ponds Creek and Kelvin Thompson as well, who's the chair there on the 1st of March to help keep the Moonee Ponds Creek safe as well. And we are investing, we have invested $10 million already to revitalise the Moonee Ponds Creek. The federal Albanese Labor government has invested a further $5 million to continue those works in partnership with Melbourne Water, which we look forward to hopefully kicking off by the end of the year is the goal. Housing, we continue to progress our measures on housing, particularly through the Central Coburg, Brunswick and Sydney Road Activity Centre as well. $860 million via the Social Housing Growth Fund to deliver 7,000 social homes for those in need and those who need them most, as well as extending stamp duty concessions for buying off the plan units, townhouses, apartments until the 21st of April 2027. The budget allocates $17 million towards assertive outreach services, 9 new teams across Marybeck and Hume to help those in need and those experiencing homelessness as well. But we know what the Liberals' policy is when it comes to housing as well. They will cut the activity centres, they will cut 300,000 homes, and they want to shove all the growth out to the outer suburbs with no infrastructure committed to accompany that as well. On social justice as well, funding for quite a range of initiatives. Community safety, of course, I've spoken about that earlier today quite at length with the police reservist bill as well, but this is a budget that is about helping Victorians with the cost of living and making things safer, more affordable and easier for Victorian families to live, learn, work and raise a family.